1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 check. Can you hear me, Greg? Greg, that's Greg. I'm going to kill you. Can you hear me, Piers? Yeah, Piers, just drop the microphone. Drop the microphone moment. You're gone. You're gone. Thank you. Check 1 2. We're live in 2 minutes.
Nick, say something.
Live in 2 minutes. Live in 2 minutes.
Nick, say something.
Live in 2 minutes. 1 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Piers?
You're not hearing?
We did patch that. Okay, well, we're going to kill you now.
You can plug back into this system and listen to it through mine.
1 2 1 2. We're standing by.
I heard him a minute ago. Was that off your computer?
Standing by.
Probably off the computer. I've still got that turned up.
Are you there, Chris Sullivan? Chris Sullivan, are you there?
Yeah, I hear you.
I've lost video. Okay, put your screen round. We're coming back to you in 2 minutes. Well, good evening, everybody. Here we are, live and direct from Eden Project. If we can, a little bit of a twiddle on the old buttons here, and that should put me up there. So here we are, live and direct from Eden Project. This is the first of what we're calling our fire pit chats. You know that bit where you go to a festival and you, I've just caught the sight of somebody picking their nose in the green room there. That was a good look, wasn't it? These guys are trying to put me off. I'm trying to be Lauren Laverne in the backstage at Glastonbury, and people are picking their nose in the green room, in the blue room even. Not to worry, he's got pussy galore behind him, I'll let him off. Because tonight is the first of our fire pit chats. That moment when you go to a festival, you come back and get some new boxer shorts on, you have a couple of beers, and you chill out a little bit. And that's what we're talking about, because tonight we have got the mighty Chris Sullivan queued up somewhere. So if I press that button, Chris Sullivan should appear over my shoulder, and if I do that, we can hear him talk. Chris, can you talk to me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. One question.
Go on.
I never heard of anybody who takes spare underpants to a festival.
So
that's why they call crusties, isn't it?
So, Mr. Sullivan, the way this is going to work is I'm actually going to hand over to you, because we've only got the capability for one big mouth, and I've been doing it all day, so it's now your turn. So I'm going to press this button here, and that puts you full screen, and that one gets rid of you. So you're full screen with a bit of blue behind you. So if I were to, hang on, I'm going to press a bit of a button here and see if we can get rid of that and get rid of that. Oh God, where are we? Okay, I'm going to start again. So let's get Chris Sullivan on main screen. We've got to chroma key him out because this is all a bit... Okay, so there's Chris Sullivan there. So we now need to go into our chroma key because we haven't got the setting there. And Chris Sullivan is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we change that to number 6. And we go to blue because he's on a blue screen. And we should be able to get rid of the background from Chris. So we'll get rid of that and let's put Glastonbury up, shall we, for a moment? How about a bit of Glastonbury behind Chris Sullivan? So Chris Sullivan's now sat with Glastonbury behind him, which is quite a nice little look, but we'll get Eden up there in a moment. In fact, we'll do Eden now. Let's get Eden up there instead. So Eden Project is behind Chris. He's just done a bit of a fall over. So that's good. Greg's got the look of a worried man who's trying to get something working, which is good. So that's cool, Chris. I'm just going to tweet you. You've got a bit of, have you got a bit of blue on your, oh, that's interesting. You've lost your beard there. Okay. That's all good. And now I'm going to get the guys up here. So we'll get Chris out of that one. In picture one, I'm going to put Greg Weir, who I can see down there. So I'm going to get Greg up there. And Greg's there. Greg is now in a box in a corner, terrorising Chris Sullivan up there in the corner there. Let's turn him up. Can you hear us, Greg?
All on board. Thank you, Nick.
Now, I'm a bit intimidated because you know what you're doing on all this stuff, and I'm just a complete rank amateur. But not to worry. I'm doing my best. I'm a dad. I do what I can. And if I press this button here, I might get another chap in. The world famous, not Supreme Team show, but the world famous Piers Thompson is on the screen as well. He looks like he's doing a bit of knitting or something. Can you hear us there, Piers?
I can hear you, Nick. Can you hear me?
We've got a bit of echo, but that's all good. It all adds to the kind of amateurishness of my show, doesn't it? 'Cause
Amateur hour, mate. Amateur hour.
I wouldn't want you Portobello Radio guys thinking I'm better at doing radio with pictures than you are. I can do the pictures. We'll leave the sound to you guys, shall we? So I'm going to cut out now. All I want to say is that we've had a day today, the first day of the Art of Community Festival, Art of Community 20. Had some brilliant stuff. We've had a great day. We're going to have some brilliant performers tonight. We've got a young girl from Leeds who's blind. She's in a wheelchair. She's going to sing some stuff. We've got a fantastic singer called Sanssouci. We've got a Les Miserables compilation for some kids in a school in Ipswich. And then Andy Smith's going to do a DJ thing. So what I'd like from you guys, if you don't mind, is just for you to talk about community, for you to talk about what you're doing in Notting Hill, West London. Chris has got some interesting views on the world post-virus. I've got some views about some nasty rat who's caught in a rat trap. I'm going to just fade out. I'm going to leave you guys to it. Thanks very much. We'll come back to you about 8:15. Go for it, guys. Fire Pit Talks. I'll go.
Oh,
okay.
Chris, how you been?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I guess I should start it off, I suppose.
Yes, please. Get your guitar out and I'll skin up.
Tell us who you are, mate.
it's interesting. Well, he just announced me. My name's Chris Sullivan. I'm one of the directors of Portobello Radio, as is Piers Thompson and Greg Weir, who are you should be seeing. And it's quite interesting that they should ask us to talk about this at this moment in time, because Portobello Radio initially started up obviously to play good music, but also as a community hub to protect us from the rampages of the heinous Tories of the Kensington Royal Borough of Kensington, who further went on to create a great injustice and a tragedy. And also, we've been fighting to retain the heart and soul of Portobello by giving voice to its minorities, its different artists, its different communities, its writers on the radio, in order to keep its heart and soul, while the developers and the hand in glove with Kensington are, of course, trying to rip the guts out of it. And what's happening now in politics is that the Tories are completely taking the mick of all of us in this country. And it's a good time. Maybe we are like a microcosm of what the whole country should be doing at the present, getting together to fight these heinous villains who are like out of some bad movie. So that's what I've got to say about how we started and what we begin and where we're at now. I think Piers will probably expand on that. Can I just
add in here the political editor's notes? Sort of, we are funded by not taxpayers' money but lottery payers' money. But yes, this programme doesn't necessarily represent the voice of Steamco. It does represent the voice of community, and it's free spirit, it's free language, it's free speech. So say what you like. Just watch your language before the watershed, please.
Don't forget, we don't anyway. Don't forget the lottery money isn't coming from the government; it comes from the people. That's why it's wisely spent, given to the likes of you.
From the poor people as well. A couple of things. One, Nick, we are actually a CIC, a community interest company, and we are not allowed to be political, as in party political. However, we do take strong views about what we think is decent, honest and fair. And actually, Chris, I don't know if you remember, we actually started the show just to play music and tell people what was going on in Ladbroke Grove.
We did, and
we've been going for about a month. We've been going for about a month, and you got so outraged by something the Westway Trust did that you set up a petition that actually, I think, revitalised the sense of protest in Notting Hill.
We certainly did, and stopped the horrible redevelopment, which would have killed what is our little quarter mile, the last left quarter mile of bohemianism in the whole of West London. It was only a little bit, but I'd like to think we were part of stopping it, and it still remains as is.
Yeah, very good.
No, absolutely. In fact, if you remember, you put the petition up and went off on holiday. You didn't even tell me the petition was up, and you came back and had 12,000 signatures.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I just stuck it up and started posting it because I was just I was outraged for Maida Vale, and I came back and it was like a big snowball. So I couldn't have been more happy. But that's how people feel. They have a real love for the Portobello and the area and its character and the people. It's one of those areas like Soho, like some parts of the East End that really people are passionate about. And I mean, whatever you think about party, political, whatever it is, I mean, we're talking about communities here, and who decides to ruin it and gentrify it and take it away? They're the evil villain, no matter what side of the political axis they stand on. So we stand for the community. And
in fact, around that time, there was quite a lot of villainy. I mean, there was the Rock.
There was a hell of a lot of villainy, yes.
There was that woman at the Westway Trust. And actually, Chris, I hate to give you a compliment, but actually, I think you reignited the sense of protest and the sense of community in this neighbourhood.
Well, I thank you. I heartily thank you for that. That's praise indeed. But also I think that as we've gone on, as I said, giving it a bit of a hub, I never envisaged that, you guys especially doing your show and getting the writers on and the cultural aspect and the DJs and getting DJs, the Moroccan guy, the Cuban guy, various members of the West Indian community. You know, we've probably almost covered the whole gamut of people who live in the area by giving them a voice. I think that's been very important. You know,
super important. I think we succeeded, and we will continue to succeed.
Nice optimistic shout, mate.
Yeah.
Editorial note that the echo in the system is induced by Greg Weir of Portobello Radio and is nothing to do with the technology of Steamco, because it's been perfect all day. He's deliberately sabotaging our audio. I'm going to leave you to it. I've had one solicitor's letter this week already from somebody who wasn't happy with our audio, but I'm not getting two.
Well,
that's
I'm
one for a beer.
having a hard job understanding. It feels like I'm listening to a dub record.
Yeah, does it? Wicked. I'll get some bass on.
Excuse me, who's in control of this conversation, just so I know?
Chris.
Chris.
Well, I'm trying to sort it out. Anyway, so it's the echo that's really doing my head in. It's like I can't really hear.
How do we get rid of that? Is that any better?
Yes, it's a bit better.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, Greg, you've been very active in this. How do you see the function of such a radio? Because I wouldn't call it local radio, because it goes beyond that. Local radio seems to imply it's like some village green affair full of people who play cricket, doesn't it?
It is normally, but of course we're not your average village green, are we, around here in Portobello land? So we're very lucky. We've got the likes of you and Piers on the team, and you particularly have an enormous Juffing address book, which we've been able to use over the last little while.
Yeah, by pulling in people from outside as well.
Absolutely. So it stretches out from being a local radio station to being a community radio station for the world, to the globe. We put on a Latin hour or a Latin 4 hours on Monday called Lunes Latino. We put on a talk radio session twice a week on Wednesday evenings from 7 till 9. And then indeed on Sunday mornings from 9 till midday. And then in between all of that, we've got the whole of the stuff that we record over the Saturday and the Sunday period, which goes out live. So it's brilliant. We happen to, as you've already said, put out the music that represents and reflects the area and the people that are in the area. And we also managed to put out the talk and the other creative aspects of the area, which is terrific. It's credit to all three of us who managed to get this together.
And tell me about some of the DJs that we have.
Yeah, indeed. My goodness. Well, it's the whole breadth of stuff. We have a great association with the old Dread Broadcasting Corporation. When I say old, I mean original Dread Broadcasting Corporation. So Mike the Bike has been instrumental in giving us a hand with that. He was one of the old players of the original DBC radio station, Dread Broadcasting Corporation, started by Lepke Rebel back in the day. So we've got some great Jamaican music that comes through. Because of that, of course, we get promoted a huge amount of Jamaican music as well, which is terrific. We've got a great relationship with Peckins Record Shop down in Askew Road, Shepherd's Bush. And the guys down there sort out our lads who play on the station with the latest white labels, dub pressings, and anything that's new and fresh, whether it's a repress or whether it's something that they've mashed up themselves. So we get great reggae on the station. We get the most incredible funk, thanks to you, mainly, predominantly leading up the funk team. Indeed, Piers Thompson is brilliant at both the funk genre and also in franchising everybody within the area. He seems to know an awful lot of locals. He's definitely the man on the street around here. So we have Latin, we have reggae, we have funk as our primary music streams. But of course, we're open to anybody who happens to live in this area and play it. As you said earlier, we had lovely Yosef, who used to play the Moroccan sound for us. We haven't had him on for a wee while, so we need to get back in contact with him. We get all sorts on. We've had some lovely Israelis on the show playing some fantastic Israeli music. We've had loads of live music. Whatever it is that's created in the Portobello Road, we're on top of it. Thanks to yourself and Chris.
We'll have it.
We will have it, absolutely.
And what about the other side, of course? The other side, of course, is you also talk a lot about the history of the area with Tom Vague.
Oh, yes.
And indeed Ed McManus.
And Ed McManus, indeed. Yeah, Tom is rather vague. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, knows everything, but needs someone like Ed McManus to whittle out those little stories and to make it a bit more coherent. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Message from the sponsor. We actually have Aidan McManus on Sunday night doing a guided tour of Portobello via Google Street Maps with a blue screen. Thank you. Carry on. As you were, gentlemen. As you were.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, if I may say, talking about history, on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, I've interviewed Robert Elms from London Live, and we talk about the ever-changing face of London. And of course, don't forget, Bob's family come from Notting Dale originally, and were there for they were there for like 60 years before he was evacuated. Not evacuated, rather, it's the wrong term. They went out to Burnt Oaks because it had a toilet and hot water, whereas his cousin's house eventually, which was a slum, sold for $5 million recently in Portland Road. So that we're talking about that, the regeneration, whether certain regeneration is good, whether it's bad, whether it's this, whether it's that. So that's an interesting thing we have on Sunday on Portobello Radio from 11 for an hour. Which is very Notting Hill W10, W11 centric. So so we cover all kinds of things really, interviews with all kinds of different people, and there was somebody knitting on there once, wasn't there, Piers? I came in once and there was a lady knitting, I believe. There was even a lady talking about... Huh?
No, you may be talking about one of Nick Causton's events actually at Parliament, where Gaz went with his ex-wife and she knitted next to him while everyone was talking. He got in loads of trouble for it.
Yes, I thought it was some kind of percussion thing, the click, click, click of the knitting, which I think is pretty cool myself, like a...
Arts and Crafts was back for an afternoon, wasn't it? Yeah, so guys... Guys, I've got a bit of an agenda. I'm convinced that this is Punk 2.0. Talk to me about Punk, because Chris has got Glenn Matlock of the Sex Pistols in the hot seat where you are tomorrow night. Talk to me about Punk and all that stuff.
It's not so much Punk so much, but lest we forget. Go on, you carry on,
Unfortunately, we're all old enough to remember Punk, and it's quite funny. I got interviewed by some young people the other day, and I tried to explain to them that Punk was on the front pages. The women at EMI would not put Anarchy in the UK in the sleeves. A man, when Sex Pistols were on Bill Grundy's show, kicked his telly in. It was a huge moral panic. Since then, it's become less, I don't know, punky, I suppose.
All right. Yeah, I guess so. Punk in my mind is a spirit. It's the ambiance. It's everything. It's the attitude.
It's basically the need to be different from your parents and the people that surround you, and that is not happening anymore. Kids of today want to be like their parents. They're all of their icons are in their 30s. Kids are not kids anymore, I don't think, and I think they need to rediscover that sense of rebellion. That's why I wrote my book, Rebel, which is a series of chapters about rebels, people, mavericks, so that some kids might pick it up and think, oh, I don't have to kowtow. I don't have to play by the rules. Maybe if I don't, I make money and I could do really well and exactly do what I want. Like, for example, we've just seen, how sheepish people are of the last few, who have seemed to follow Boris Johnson to the grave, no matter what mistake he makes.
People are just like... What do you think about drill music?
What?
What do you think about drill music?
I've never listened to it.
Okay, so that's, in my mind, that's what some of the more edgy kids are listening to at the moment. And that's got nothing to do with parents.
I have listened to it. My son listens to it, but to me it's just rap again. It's not, I can't see any rebellion in that at all.
It's the music that parents hate.
I didn't mind it. It just, to me, it just sounded like another version of rap music. It didn't sound in any way controversial to me.
Yeah.
That's why
some of the lyrics about killing each other is a bit controversial, but
that's a bit pathetic, I think. I think that's not controversial. That's just pathetic. That's just an adolescent trying to be the big man. I'd listen to something if I had something intelligent to say. Killing has never been intelligent.
No, you're
or
right.
braggadocio, maybe that's why I dismissed it offhand.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, to me,
I mean,
rapping
we have slightly drifted off the subject, which is the community aspect of what we do. And I think we've talked almost too much about ourselves. I mean, what we've tried to create at Portobello Radio is a platform which has an open door so that the unheard voices, the voices who don't get heard usually, get an opportunity to speak. We do a show at the Muse Gallery on Portobello Road, well, when we aren't all in our homes isolating. And literally, more or less anyone who isn't a right-wing nutter can come through the door and tell us what's on their mind.
Yeah.
We,
and a few of them creep in too.
Yeah. I mean, we've given more.
Hey, I've seen them.
Yes,
I've
you
seen
have
them.
seen them. You're right.
Any, but they just pop in and just get on the mic.
Yeah.
And if you're boring, we'll cut you off after 90 seconds if you're interested.
It's like the Gong Show.
Yeah.
And then, we really reach out. It would be much easier for Chris, Greg, and me to do all the DJ gigs. We really reached out to DJs like Yusuf from the Moroccan community. We've reached out to, as you know, most DJs are blokes. We've really reached out and have helped a lot of women, young women, middle-aged women, old women, to start DJing. Talk radio gives an opportunity to, excuse my voice is going. We've done a show this afternoon. Talk radio gives opportunities to all kinds of people. And, our greatest ambition is for us to be at home while some other young people are doing Portobello Radio.
And don't forget as well, I mean, you've actually booked some like 14, 15-year-olds into DJ, lest we forget.
No, actually, we've done more debuts to DJs over 50 than any other radio station in the world.
No, but we also have some under 16s. Less we got Rudy. How old is he now? 18 now. When he first DJed, what? 15.
They're all a bit older now.
Yeah, but we did have Charlie on. He's 13.
No, we've got loads.
We've had quite a few younglings on as well. It's great.
And if anyone out there's listening, chatter@portobelloradio.com. Send us
also,
a short mix.
Let's put another advert we'd like to put out. Of course, is we would like to train up some recruits, work experience guys, and teach them the ropes of how to do this. So we're always looking for young people who want to come in and just be seen.
We do indeed, and we're talking about actually coming to learn the background processes. If you're a kid who can DJ, you can send us a mix. But what we need is young people who want to get involved, who understand the vibe, who understand the open door access.
And are willing to learn the technical problems.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. No, brilliant. We invite any member of the community who wants to get involved to come and get involved. Because that's what we're all about, right?
Yes, this is what we're all about.
Another question.
I think what Nick was talking about. I mean, what he was talking about was, I've been looking at history. After the plague, of course, was a great wave of egalitarian politics throughout the world because the landowners couldn't get away with it anymore. After the Spanish flu, what did we have? We had the Roaring Twenties. We had the greatest outpouring of creativity probably ever in Paris in the 20s. Surrealism. You had like all the great writers of the 20th century. We had we had Berlin in the 20s, which unfortunately turned into the Nazis. But before that, we had German Expressionism. In New York, there was the great flapper movement, the birth of jazz. So I think that after this, there could be a real outpouring of creativity. I think a lot of people are indoors now, learning, getting ready to create. Because I think a lot of people have seen that the power of the possession doesn't have such a great hold anymore.
That's right. And going back to Nick's thing about punk, actually, the most important thing about punk, it was partly an element of when people could suddenly press their own records. But the key motif, the key meme trope of punk was that one page in Sniffing Glue, the first punk fanzine, which just said, "Here are 3 chords, now start a band."
Yeah, you did it right.
Do it yourself.
The problem it wasn't the music, it wasn't the clothes, it was liberation. It was the DIY attitude. That's what it was punk that created it. That's why I did clubs. Like different people did clothes labels. Different people, started record labels. I mean, the creativity in the 80s was phenomenal. Created their own magazines. We all saw it. And it's not harking back like nostalgically. Compared to now, it was much more creative. The 20s were more creative than the 80s, should we say. So perhaps, I think that's what was important with punk. It gave us everybody the ability to do something. The birth of the photocopying machine, that coincided. And I think at the moment we're in exactly the same position because of all the technology is at people's fingertips. They can actually do what they want now, make their own music in their house. So all they need is to stay in for 3 months and learn how to do it. Maybe that's what they've just done. That's me.
I hope so. I mean,
that's me being optimistic.
You must never underestimate the ability of corporate culture to cannibalize. And I always say the Sex Pistols were the first boy band because Malcolm kind of put them together in the shop down in World's End, and they saw what he did, and they took the Svengali bit, and from then on we've had Take That, Boys World, Men's World, whatever they're all called.
No, but there was a few. Don't forget, Malcolm McLaren was heard to say that the Sex Pistols were going to be the next Bay City Rollers. That's what he wanted, was the Bay City Rollers. But it just all went a bit wrong. And what happened after the Bill Grundy show, basically, because Mike Stevenson was my very close friend, and he was the actual manager of the Sex Pistols. Malcolm was just at back trying to pull strings with it. He said Malcolm absolutely was so petrified after Bill Grundy, because that's when the Anarchy was started. What he did was he just turned it around. Instead of, it became the great big anti-establishment voice, because I firmly believe before that it was just a fashion. But he turned it around and did it well. But he was very scared. He wanted the Bay City Rollers, and he ended up with the Sex Pistols, which is funny. Yeah. God bless his socks.
Nick, next question.
I think Nick's fallen asleep. Chris, what's the next thing? What's coming up?
All right, I'll ask some questions then.
Nick's here, don't you worry. Nick's got some jobs to go. And
so tell us about the Friday night shows. That was the time to give it a plug. Who have you had on recently?
On the Friday or the Saturday?
Friday. We can talk about the Saturdays in a minute.
Well, I mean, what we have done, it's an interesting question, actually, Chris, because we were there on the Portobello Road. We had an open door policy, and it was very, very community. Then once we locked down, we had to ring people up to come on the show. And we did. Yeah. We did start talking to the leaders of the council, the people who run Carnival, and we had to turn into a slightly different community station. Yeah. It's quite interesting because a lot of people around here, everyone around here knows us, but there are a lot of people like the local paper who didn't. And we had Matthew from Carnival who came on to exclusively announce they hadn't made a decision about Carnival. that piece of the paper got 17,000 shares.
Wow.
But it's cancelled. Carnival.
Nothing sells.
No.
Carnival's cancelled, though, yeah?
Carnival's cancelled. And we actually, on the show this afternoon, we had Ricky, who runs Bass, who's a sound system. And they're trying to work out.
He's also Rap Attack.
He's also Rap Attack. They're trying to find out a way of keeping Carnival going.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Well, I guess. Well, I'm hoping that what might happen is that it'll just appear in mini form in all the different squares without all the stuff in between. They could quite easily do something in Meanwhile Gardens. They could do something in All Saints Road. They could do something in. But I guess taking away the big to do, I think, is it might do it a bit of good. Maybe it has got a bit big, you know. Take it back to the initial idea of Carnival, which seems to, I think, that's been lost in recent years. The unity and the bringing together the different races as it was the initial idea, wasn't it? Maybe this would reunify.
Well, actually, I've even. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of talk about the foundation myths of Carnival. To be honest, it was the people who lived around here, whether they were black or whether they were white, they just wanted a party. And then
and it was, of course, it was a Trinidadian thing, because the people in Portobello are mainly from a Trinidadian and that community. It's the Jamaicans are in Brixton, so that's why it's Carnival of that nature, you know. So
Jamaicans are in Brixton, because when they came off the Windrush, got the train to Victoria, and they were all taken to Cold Harbour Lane.
Yes, that's absolutely right, and it's the same with the other West Indians. Yeah, a lot of them got the train. A lot of them got the boats to Cardiff, which was the main port for bananas at the time. And then they get the train there straight into Portobello.
Yeah, that's where not only did Shirley Bassey come from there, but our great anti-hero, Michael X, Michael de Freitas.
Oh right, well well there can be a few bad eggs about, can't there? You know.
Anyway, listen, Carnival online this year is going to be smashing. Portobello Radio is definitely involved. We've spoken to so many people about it. It looks like it's an online event this year predominantly, and we're integrally involved with it all. So if you want to know what's going on Carnival 2020, the shittest year of the world, then you miss tuning to Portobello Radio. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Fond memories of our time with you there last summer, Greg, as well.
Yeah, man. We've got a naughty, rather illegal radio station, what am I on about, sound system that we put up every year down there. And Nick was very wonderful, came down last year and took a load of photographs and stuck them outside our sound system, which was brilliant. And then ran around the corner and did exactly the same to Gaz at the Rocking Blues sound system as well. So it was wicked. Nick, you were involved, brother. 2019 was a big year.
Well, we've been talking to Gaz, and Gaz we've decided we're going to do the Gaz's stage on this platform, if we can get rid of that echo that you've brought into it, Greg.
Oh, you know what? It's because me and Piers are socially distancing in the same studio. So you're getting an echo off of his thing. If I mute myself, then the echo goes.
It's the latency, isn't it, between the two? Yeah.
It is. There you go. I'm just on Piers' mic now.
I just don't want that.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Yeah, isn't it?
That sounds a lot better.
That's what it is. It's because you've got two microphones going in and a slight delay between them, and that's causing the echo.
That's what it is. That was really confusing. Sorry. Yeah.
Trippy.
So
anyway, the other thing we've been doing, of course, is not just doing that, but we felt that in these times when a lot of people felt isolated, especially people of our age group, shall we say, who might have been divorced, the kids are grown up, they're living on their own somewhere, whether male or female. So we've also been doing these virtual nightclubs every week, which have seemed to, as somebody texted me, some lady, she said, made me feel less lonely. So
brilliant.
That's another things we're doing, trying to just help people out a bit. Really, I mean, I think this is not it's called a benevolent radio station. I think that's what it should be called, benevolent radio station, not local.
Chris,
we just give
a couple of real crackers in there, haven't you? Because we've had some of the great clubs, your own club, the WAG, we've had 2 or 3 of the nights. We've had, we had Paul Oakenfold.
Paul Oakenfold!
Though funny
Yeah,
enough,
we had,
turned out the warm-up DJ.
Paul Watson, Albert de Paname, one of the biggest
Paname.
DJs in France. Yeah, it's you know, it's
Gavin
and it's
Perry.
just. And now we've got one of the most famous jazz DJs in the world, Paul Murphy, on tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Saturday night.
What time is that?
That's 9 till 12 tomorrow on www.Portobello Radio. If you want to hear the finest jazz, and it's not jazz in that wishy-washy jazz funk style. It's not jazz of that kind of really style, you know, that discordant style. It's jazz you can dance to and smile to and laugh with. I mean, it's that kind of jazz. You can dance with your lady to this jazz. So don't be put off by the word jazz that so many people are.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah.
We love jazz.
Yeah, you do, but there's so many
like
people
jazz,
that don't know. I mean, I know I've said to people jazz, and they've gone, "Oh, really? I hate jazz." And then I play them a record, and they go, "Is this jazz?" I go, "Yeah." They go, "I like this." I go, "Well, there we are."
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
it's a bit like garlic, isn't it? A lot of people, if you like my dad hated garlic. He loved it when he tasted it until I told him what it was.
That's such human beings, isn't it?
Yeah. So, what's the plans then for Portobello Radio? What we got? What we got coming up soon, apart from tomorrow?
Well,
tell us what we got tomorrow on first. The DJs.
We have. We're not sure actually.
We've got lots of special guests, loads of special guests, including possibly some rap artists from South London, and possibly a young lady from Paddington, and definitely a bit of PJ playing tech house. So it's gonna be
Really?
mental.
Oh,
Yay!
He
PJ
used
the
to
DJ.
play- He used to play at the WAG,
Yeah.
Chris.
huh?
PJ used to play on Thursday nights, he said.
No, I know you didn't.
Oh, no,
I
he
never
didn't.
put.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
he
no.
did.
Oh no, he didn't. He's behind you.
Yeah.
He's behind you.
I mean, what? In answer to your question, though, we've now been going 4 or 5 years. We're kind of in danger of becoming part of the establishment, and we are beginning to. People are coming to us. You know, Carnival want to talk to us about how they're going to disseminate the virtual carnival. We're very hooked up with the Portobello Pavilion, which is in Powys Square every summer, a kind of a pop-up art school perfect for curious minds on a summer's day. We're now even part of the Kensington Chelsea Art Week in cahoots with like the V&A, the Design Museum, the Christie's, you know, the big rollers. It's quite interesting though, because I think they need us more than we need them.
Oi.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a love thing. It's a love thing. We all need each other as much as each other. And you know who needs us most of all? Our beautiful listening public. Yes.
Well, I think Piers is right in one respect, in that we've carried on this far, and and I'm glad that the support is coming in at long last, because it's been like banging up again at Brink's wall for some point. But you just have to keep on going, don't you?
Don't you? Don't you just?
Don't you have to keep on going?
This is good fun.
No, but I
It's
don't
sort of
think
like
we'd ever be a part of the establishment, to be quite honest with you. I don't think we're that kind of people. But
No, I've just got
it would be nice.
We've got a set from Jamie Rose tomorrow night.
Okay. It
Oh,
would
yeah,
be
that's
nice
true,
though
yeah.
to get them. It would be nice to get some sponsorship from somebody. You know, that would be good. So, or even because we've begged, borrowed, and stolen everything. The first place we paid for, how much is it? £5 or £10 a month, a week, or something. And then we managed to black.
That.
Huh?
It's the first time the three of us have broadcast together in a long time.
Well, today.
It's almost true.
Yeah.
Broadly speaking, it's
but
true.
no, what I'm saying is we've always done it on such a shoestring, as in terms of, we managed to blag which we have to thank the West Bank Gallery, who gave us a home for still do for many years, and the equipment to use. You managed to blag a place.
the KPH, the Mau Mau,
in the News Gallery.
Tabernacle.
So I think we would like to, if anybody's out there wants to give us a bit of help and give us, rent us one of their unused offices or Airbnbs that we can use, as a base, that would be very handy, because it is quite difficult. Don't you find not having anywhere, like being completely itinerant all the time?
It's there's something wonderful and Bedouin about it. There's something Tuareg of the Portobello Radio thing at the moment, but at the same time, we would be more grounded if we had a base.
Yeah, because I feel if we had a base, it could be a centre of operations for more than just the radio. It could be a centre of all kinds of. That's
we can facilitate so much.
Yeah,
Well, if you a little bit like the Muse on a Friday afternoon, people pop in because they got a gig on or they're protesting about a housing association or whatever, but other people just come and hang. And it's we broadcast off a bus, we broadcast out of a street when they were putting a plaque up to the Whalers. Just after fire, we broadcast from the town hall with Greg throwing a microphone over a scaffolding.
Janet Kay as well on the.
But we paid our dues.
Well, I still think though, if we had a base rather like Soho Radio, for example, where we could do stuff, it would be a lot easier, I think, rather than carting the equipment from A to B as you do. I don't do it, you do it because it's your equipment, but I think it would be much better if we could get that. Basically, all I'm saying is that we've struggled, but maybe the community should start helping us now. I think by giving us a place or somebody supplying us with an office.
Yes, wouldn't that be delicious?
That's what I.
Well,
because then of course,
the Westway Trust. You never know your luck. You might get a squeeze there.
Mate, everyone's going past. There'll be loads of shops on the Portobello Road.
Yeah, but the thing is that then the ideal world, I guess, would be to keep it running 7 days a week, have a series of in-house young producers to look after each show that we do, and have 2-hour intervals, and have a constant space that could be constantly run, constantly training people, constantly training DJs, young engineers. That would be an ideal world. So if anybody's out there listening has got such a space, you know to contact us. What was the email again?
How do they do that, Greg?
Hang on a second.
Chatter.
Email chatter at CHATTER at Portobello Radio.
Yeah, the type of emails we like are the ones that say, we have a big office you just off the Portobello Road. You can have for free for a year or more.
I kind of enjoy those other emails that just say, you're playing brilliant music, guys. Keep it going.
Yeah, well, we have enough of those.
Yes, exactly.
We have millions of those.
What's been really sweet during the lockdown is I've had old friends of mine who finally had a chance to listen to our output, at some length. And they ring me up and say, I can't believe how great your station is. I, of course, say, don't tell me, tell your friends.
Yeah, well, I've had the amount of people that have started listening because of the Saturday had an excuse to promote. And they've been tuning in on Saturday and in the week, and they're like gobsmacked.
Yeah.
It's like an undiscovered.
If you've got two radios or radio computer, put Radio 6 on one, put us on the other, and I reckon we'll win on every song.
We're far better than Radio 6. If you listen to that on a Sunday, it's apart from Keris, it's absolute rubbish. There's 3 shows that are good on the whole week. That's Keris, Huey, and what's his name? The funk guy. Craig Charles. The rest of it is embarrassing. Because I know this because I've got no computer reception Wi-Fi in my kitchen, so I have to listen to that, and I'm appalled. Absolutely appalled. Northerners moaning and playing bloody punk records and stuff like New Order all the time. It's like, oh, come on, guys.
When we first started, we started this other studio up in Kensal, and we basically got a name for Chris Sullivan Ranting. Whatever it was, if it was the Westway Trust, it was the fact that, someone didn't take the bins out last night, whether it was... Can we have a rant, Chris?
Yeah, of course. It was a good old rant, wasn't it? That's how it sort of kicked off. And also, that was the same. Yeah. And the reason was that is because I couldn't do it at home, you see, because I had a lady on board who used to, she didn't like my ranting, but I think you've got to let it out, don't you?
One certainly
has. Let it out.
Better out than in.
Hey, if it's in, what happens? Heart attacks. You've got to get it out. Anyway, I don't rant anymore. Because you know what I do now? I cycle for 2 hours and I just fume.
Fit.
I'm the fuming cyclist, the road rage cyclist. That's what I am. The scourge of any car that dares to go past me.
Bonkers taffy on wheels.
That's it. The taffia. That's it. Yeah. So next week,
where's the producer?
Talking about the taffia. So this Sunday we have Robert Elms and me talking. The week after we have me and the late great Steve Strange, who was part of our taffia. The taffia was a group of people. We all ran all the major trendy clubs in the 80s, or groovy clubs is a better word. They were trendy individual clubs. They called us the taffia, and it was we'll make you an offer you can't understand.
That's about right.
That was the one. So Nick, you still there?
I'm here. I'll give you 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm going to wrap you up.
Being so good, we also have some really exclusive and unique voices on the show. Whether it's Aidan interviewing people like Alan McGee, or Sandy Leverson, or Rick Goldman. Or whether it is Isis Amlak and a Festival of Dissent, whether it is Dick O'Dell telling you about the way it was.
Local Trinidadians playing music, playing, banjo. I'm thinking of Alexander the Great.
So listen, before we go, what I'd like to ask you, Greg, especially, is there might be somebody out there that really wants to do this themselves. How would they set about doing this? All right, let's say I'm like 18 years of age. I want to be a DJ. I want to start my own online radio station. How would he do it?
Well, I reckon those are 2 rather big bites of one enormous cherry. But
the DJ is easy. So
just fucking Google it.
However, the radio station thing is an ever-undulating beast. The technology moves so fast. You have to get with the program and then keep with it. So it's kind of a bit of a passion. And absolutely, quite a few different ways of doing it. We've chosen the way of sending a single stream to a cloud service, and then that way that's the most reliable. So if anybody wants a tip, then that's probably the way forward. The whole idea of streaming it directly from your own PC at home might seem sensible because you've got no money, but actually for weeny bits of money you can get one of these cloud servers and send it out to that instead, and you pay a pittance, and it's a far superior service. So man, there you go. That's my Techo tips for the day.
And the way you isn't the way you avoid the heinous public, the PRS, human rights money, isn't it, by doing Mixcloud?
Yeah.
I guess that is one way, Just going straight to podcast. You can't live stream unless you pay Mixcloud a bit of money, and then they'll take some of that and put it into PRS. So ultimately, PRS and PPL gets paid, whichever way you do it. Yeah. And if you want to start small scale, then of course it's podcast platforms like Mixcloud and SoundCloud.
In fact, if you tonight, 2 of our DJs, Neville Hyde and Tosca Jackson, are doing their 40-something disco on Mixcloud Live tonight. Not quite sure how you find it. It's quite expensive, Mixcloud, 90 quid, 100 quid a year. Yeah. But that would definitely be the way to start. But if you're any good, the first thing to do is to come to us, try out a few shows, and actually we are delighted if you leapfrog us and move on to your own thing.
Well,
we're just here to help.
It bigs up us as well. It's great.
I think what you should mention is as well is that not all of the DJs are from the area. Like we've had one guy came from Hemel Hempstead. We've had people from not just Portobello DJing, from all over really.
Whoop whoop! That's the sound of the police.
Good. Like that.
Gentlemen, I would love to jump in that video window with you, but Chris is hogging the blue screen. I've only got one blue screen on my mixer. I've only got 2 pictures in pictures. This is such a lovely sight. I'm going to have a little selfie with you guys. I'm going to take a little selfie on my phone of you boys on the screens here, because you're not going to believe what I'm seeing here. This is like a video fanzine. This is. Give us all a nice little smile. It's such a
we'd like to complain that Chris is bigger than us.
It's such a video mashup. It's almost like fanzine 1972. Go on, Chris.
I wouldn't call it a fanzine. It's more like Last of the Summer Wine In.
Next time I think next time, as well as a bit of blue fabric, what I'm going to do now is just press a few buttons and show everybody what's actually on the screen behind Chris Sullivan, because he's actually got a bit of blue material stuck on the wall behind him, and he's got his James Bond poster there, and he's got his finger over the lens. This is what happens when you don't get a proper crew on it. Chris Sullivan, thank you very much. Greg Weir, Paul Piers Thompson.
Well, thank you guys. Say, listen, we speak tomorrow, huh? And don't forget, all you lovely people out there.
Yes.
All you lovely people out there. We're always ready to give out the love, baby.
Chris Sullivan, impresario, Greg Weir, tech guy, guru, Piers Thompson, the front man of Portobello Radio. Good friends, thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Hashtag Collaborate20. Thanks, guys.
Have a lovely weekend.
Amazing.
Bye,
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye. Stay locked. We've got an amazing lineup tonight. We've got some amazing talent coming in tonight, so let's get this back on the road here. We are back in Portobello Road. I am live and direct at Notting Hill Carnival. Let's smash it. He says, haha, let's smash it.
We love everybody out there on the streets. We love it. Keep it warm, keep it good, and keep it Portobello Radio.
It's lovely. It's lovely to be down, hanging out with the guys, Portobello Radio, Piers, Greg and Chris Sullivan there. That's our first ever Fireside Pit chat. Absolutely brilliant fire pit chat. We're going to go off air now and we're going to come back in 5 minutes. We have got 3 amazing acts tonight, unbelievable. We've got Kirpa Sawali, who's coming in from Leeds. So Kirpa Sawali is going to be doing an amazing song. It's just beautiful voice, and this is going to be a very moving moment tonight. We've then got Sanssouci, who's going to be singing after her for half an hour. We're going to have a chat with her. And then we've got the Les Miserables, Andrew Quatermain and Noel Vine performance after that. That's going to take us up to about 9:30, and then at 10 till 1 we've got DJ Andy Smith. So we're going to go off air now. We're going to start the stream again at 8:30. We're going to go straight to Leeds. We're going to speak to Kirpa's father, VJ, and we're going to start the evening the way we want to go on, full of respect, full of love, full of community. We'll speak to you all in just a few minutes. Thank you very much.